Hi everybody, welcome to Dice Camera Action, our little D&D show. Previously, in the campaign, Diath was confronted by representatives of the most powerful dwarven clans of the north, who demanded reparations for the deaths of their kin by Diath's hand when he deliberately released a fire primordial from inside an iron flask. Later, after returning to Waterdeep and a number of adventures got in the way, the Waffle Crew sought to acquire the Stone of Golor, a magic item that knows the location of the Vault of Dragons, which is rumored to, or is believed to contain, 500,000 gold coins that were embezzled from the city by its previous open lord. The Water Crew? What the fuck? The Waffle Crew.
I would rather be the water.
That's a different crew than us.
Right. The Waffle
Less
Crew
brunch.
Stole the stone as it was being auctioned off, only to have it stolen from them by imps loyal to the Castellanter noble family, one of the major powers in the city vying for the stone. Paulton and Simon were gravely wounded by these imps, despite assurances from the Castellanters that no harm would befall them or any other members of the Waffle Crew. That by order of Asmodeus, Lord of the Nine, Father of all evil, etc., and so forth. Diath, you're home with the rest of the Waffle Crew, awakened by a nightmare, the details of which are only vaguely reminiscent at this point. When you wake up, you're in a sweat just pouring off your brow, and you remember basically in the dream pulling dwarves up a mountainside, and they're all kind of roped together, and you alone are bearing their weight as they try to claw and scramble up this mountainside while Megara the fire titan is burning below them. And you let go of the rope and it burned your hand as it tore free, and you watch them all plunge into Megara's mouth. And that's when you woke up. And you don't remember what got you to the mountain or how you ended up being the anchor that was trying to hold these dwarves and keep them from certain death. But their screams as they burnt to cinders upon landing in Megara's mouth was all you could take.
Just a dream, probably doesn't mean anything.
And then when you wake up, you are inside Paulton's magic waffle hut, which all of you have been sleeping in ever since the upper floors of the Waffle House were burnt to cinders.
Yes, we have.
And everybody else is sleeping soundly around you. And there's just flop sweat.
Just snoring.
Is it like early in the morning or still in the middle of the night, or?
You probably woke up in the morning.
Okay. Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah. It's probably a bit earlier than Diath is used to actually waking up, but he'll still do he'll still just kind of begrudgingly start his morning routine.
Okay.
Some calisthenics.
When he steps out of the waffle hut, there's like a boom sound as he passes through the barrier. And then you can hear the chickens in the kitchen just making their usual noises.
Do we have real chickens?
Yeah.
Or just
Yeah.
spectral chickens?
No, you have some real ones in the kitchen that Strix uses to get eggs that she uses in her pastries and things like that.
I had forgotten.
And anyway, most of you have taken to eating in the kitchen because that room, unlike the tap room, isn't in total shambles.
Yeah.
And there's a table in there and everything. So you probably prepare your breakfast as usual with minimal help from Albie and the invisible servants.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'd imagine these kinds of nightmares Diath has been having for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
And is still probably pretty resolved in doing what he thinks is the right thing, at least.
Did Strix hear the noise when Diaz left the dome?
Definitely not.
No.
It's so quiet and
Yeah.
sneaky.
Fine, she's still snoring. You just hear.
You clean the dishes off. You leave no mess behind.
Yeah, Diaz will go. We'll actually do like a quick walkthrough of the entire house real fast just to see,
Okay.
make sure like everything is ordered, doesn't feel anything suspicious, and at the same time is trying to recollect events that have transpired and try slowly piece together
As you
a plan of
recall,
sorts of what he can do.
there were concerns that imps were infesting the place very recently, but it
Yeah.
was Evelyn and her use of the moonbeam spell that kind of incinerated one of them and scared the others away. As you make your way around the house, you don't hear things like little flapping wings, or the hairs on the back of your neck don't tingle as they sometimes do when danger seems to descend upon you.
Okay.
Now the upper floors are a mess. You're like climbing over burnt timbers and things like that, but
Yeah, and this is still just as broken. This has got to get fixed, and we didn't get 50,000 gold for selling a cloak, so we need to do that.
you also gave away some of you gave to Walnut some of the money that you were holding on to from Inc. as well.
Yeah, I'm in a lot of debt.
You say that out loud.
Yeah.
Okay. Some people, the rest of you kind of wake up to that downstairs. You're not sure what was said, you just heard Diaz's voice and that was it.
Yeah.
Strix just wakes up, and we'll notice he's gone and be like, "Oh, he's yelling about money again." Evelyn, he's yelling about money again.
Evelyn's like drooling, like, oh, I can't hear anything in this side. I should have been up like 3 hours ago. Brushing hair out of her face.
What time is it?
Oh, the dawn sun hasn't even arisen above the horizon yet, so it's still pretty dark out through your dirt-stained windows.
What time do you wake up, Evelyn? It's dark outside.
Light never sleeps. But Evelyn's like half asleep. She's like trying to be awake, but she's doing that thing where her eyes are just like barely awake and her hair is like this. And that's why she gets up so early, because she is not a person for like an hour. So she's like, what do we need money for?
You know that, whatever. I'll leave the dome and go and try and find Diaz to, I don't know, comfort him in the way that Strix tries to comfort people.
Okay. You're able to find each other eventually, and as more people wake up and the kids wake up, you start to get into the more hectic routine.
Yeah.
Evelyn, you go upstairs to the remnants of your room, and there's like a shard of mirror that you've set up on a blackened dresser, which you're trying to use to sort your hair out.
There's like live, laugh, That's all that's left. But yeah, she somehow figures it out, and then she just appears resplendent, like, oh, good morning. Happy to see you. Haven't seen you at all this morning, have I?
And this is just like the next day after like the previous sessions, right?
Yeah, this is the next day after your visit to Inc.
Okay.
Ooh, Paulton, how's the suit coming? Not the suit you wear, the suit like the lawsuit.
Chris, is it noon yet?
It can be if there's no other business to attend to.
Well, if it's not noon yet, then Paulton has not.
Okay.
Oddly specific.
Well, I mean, I feel like on a normal schedule, he would never be up before noon.
Oh, gotcha.
Got
Like,
it.
unless something calls him to get up. It's just like, nope.
This is more
I
a
assume
case-
that Evelyn is also used to just like kind of yelling in his general direction and not getting a response till noon. So she probably still said that.
It's a little different because since you've lost your individual rooms and you're all sleeping down in the main room, it's a little harder for Paulton to sleep in when people are like stepping over him and moving chairs around and the kids.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
You drink enough, you can sleep through it.
True.
If anything, it's more on principle. Like, if he wakes up, he keeps his eyes closed and doesn't move till noon.
Like
Just
the.
just to be like, just to keep his sense of normalcy.
Just
Right.
Angry sleeping in.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that.
Well, I think that Strix is going to notice that. Well, I don't know. Would Strix notice that Dieth was distressed? Probably.
More than usual, yeah,
Yeah, I
sure.
was gonna say, like, wasn't his usual state of being?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like if she noticed that he had a bad dream or was stressed or something, she'd like go to the kitchen and ask the coven for some, I don't know, some calming tea or something, and bring him some tea and just be
I
like,
mean, 24
"Drink
hours.
this!"
24 hours ago, Dia thought he was going to have 50,000 gold pieces to spend on this shambles of a residence.
That's true. So noted money problems, always something that stresses him out. So Strix will just bring him some tea and be like, "Drink this!"
Oh. Thank you, Strix. Dieth will just take it and sip at it.
She stares until you take another sip. Did you take another sip?
Yes. Yes.
One more.
I'll drink more. I'll drink all of it.
Okay.
And she takes the cup when
Yep.
you're done. He's like, "Thank you." And she just scuttles off. That was helping.
All right. Strix, you realize that when you go down to the kitchen and you've gotten accustomed to sort of writing out lists of pies that need to be made and stuff like that. And whether you do it yourself or the other members of the Chickenfoot Coven do it, you don't really care, but it just sort of gets done. You check them off when they're done. The problem is you're doing an inventory of ingredients and you realize you have run out of most of the ingredients you need, apart from the chickens, to keep your pies going. Your business is not going to be able to continue unless you can order more supplies.
Shit. I like look around like out of the kitchen. And I see Dieth, and like you see me think like money troubles. And I'm like,
Right. And we're not exactly getting any business right now while this whole place is in shambles.
well, I don't know what to do. I'm out of pie stuff. I have spices. I take out my like handy spice pouch and just like, this is all I have. I can't make pies with this tiny bag.
I know. Well,
Do you think if I sold my blood, we could make money?
probably, but don't.
Paulton's gonna walk in, finally up. It's like, Dieth,
Yeah.
do you have paper?
Oh, always. You know,
Okay, need.
Dieth will find some parchment and hand it to Paulton.
He's
Cool.
Dieth has like another 5-10 sheets of parchment left that he can give to Paulton.
Oh, I'm running out of parchment. No.
Do we need to actually like buy materials and items now? Is this a thing? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start working on this case.
So you're just sitting at the kitchen table drawing up legal papers?
Mm-hmm. To the best of my ability. Which I don't know how we can go about that.
Tongue sticking out.
I think Evelyn is probably looking over his shoulder, giving direction as well, which is like,
Is that a word? Yeah.
yeah. And she has some legal understanding because she's been a paladin so long, but it's all based in like theology. So she wants him to add a lot of words that have to do with like by the grace of God, all of those kinds of things, because she's like, that's what makes it official.
Nah, that's not the age Waterdeep is in anymore. We people don't like that.
What do you mean people don't like that?
They just don't, and I'm just trying to do what's best for the case. I do appreciate it. It's a very pretty gesture. It's like it's nice to think that, and I get it. In fact, I agree with it. But
You do?
yeah, of course. But for the sake of the case, I think it would and he's just like big words, lawyer words. It would behoove us to uh, um, this.
Yeah?
Hold
Uh
on.
huh. To
Let's
it would behoove us to
behoove us to no. What's a fancier word for leave out?
exclude.
Exclude. Yes, that is I was making sure we were on the same page. Exclude
Well,
said
this
language.
You see
Well,
the
this is
kid.
happening.
Yeah.
I feel like Strix is holding the teacup and realizes that they were also out of tea, and the Covenant just put a bunch of weeds in it,
Nice. Yeah.
and she just like hides it under her robes.
Cool.
The kids have put on their worst clothing and are going to go out panhandling for the day.
Oh.
God damn it! What? This is so sad.
All
No.
Hey, everyone. I'm going to the Castle Lanterns today.
You can't go alone.
I'm going to get the stone.
Why? Why?
Because we need it.
For what purpose? I thought we just destroyed that contract.
The only contract we destroyed was the cloak one. We need the stone so that we can get to this dragon horde before anyone else. And the last thing anyone should have it be a bunch of Asmodeus worshipping rich family.
Well, you can't go alone. I have to go with you because they can't hurt me.
I'm not-
Technically, they can't hurt any of you.
I'm saying I don't want to go. I don't want to go alone. I'm asking for help.
Strix like pauses and
You see Simon's jaw just hit the floor.
Everyone, like motionless. Everyone just.
Paulton's
everyone
pencil,
stops and freezes. Like
Paulton's pencil tip just like snaps.
Just look, Strix, you know more about like the different hells and realms than anyone else. Evelyn, you know anything about like gods and Lathander, and the light can help protect you and the rest of us. And Paulton, you can outtalk anyone. I can't do this.
well, we're gonna help then.
I just
A little single tear is glistening in Evelyn's eye. Of course we will.
Charisma casters unite.
oh my god, it is all of you.
Well, that changes everything. If you're going there and you want us to come with you, then absolutely. Let me go get more weapons. And she just runs off.
Gets all her weapons. Gets things that aren't really weapons but could be.
All the weapons, yep. And a fork.
And a fork.
It takes a lot to admit that, when push comes to shove, you need the help of the people. And we are more than happy to help you. And I think it's that vulnerability and that honesty that's going to make you... Hold on. Don't hold it together. That's going to make you a great Hokage.
I knew it wasn't gonna be thoughtful.
Still don't know what a Hokage is. Not that's a compliment.
I
or
thought it
what's
was
happening
thoughtful. I thought that was a very kind thing to say.
How would you like to get there?
here. That's the
We
thing.
would love to.
Right now, everyone, I don't have a plan for this. We know they have it. They wanted us to get it for them, and we kind of blew that one.
Well, they want help with their kids or whatever. Maybe I don't know. Maybe there's something. I mean, they're already rich, so maybe there's something else that we can do to get them, to get them help. Like they don't necessarily need money. Maybe like Asmodeus can just take like a finger or something. I don't need this finger or this finger.
Whoa, what's
What if they're done using it? And maybe we can just have it. We could just ask real nice.
yeah?
Yes, as you recall, the Stone of Golor has the information contained within it. It can impart that to whoever attunes to it. You were told that at the auction. So if the Castellanters get the information out of it, the stone becomes less useful.
Yeah. All I need is just a small amount of time just to get the information. And then after that, anyone can have the stone. But the longer we have it, the less people will have the information. If we give it up, we'll just need to act that much faster to even get to it.
Right. What Castellanters probably won't share is the money, because they need that to buy the souls of their children back.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. I mean, we're going to get $50,000 as soon as this suit with Ack Inc. is settled.
Gold.
That's what I said. I said gold.
Oh no, the line blurs.
All right. So you're going to head to Castellanter Villa. For you, that's across town, basically due west of where you are. You can follow Del Zorin Street all the way to Castellanter Villa.
Great.
All right.
But do you want to travel there by coach or just walk in there, or some of you flying, some of you walking? What's the deal? It's a beautiful, if warm and somewhat humid summer day, and we'll get more so as the day wears on.
I think we can take a nice stroll there.
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
Let's all walk together and chat, because Diaz wants us to keep him company.
Maybe while we go, we could talk about how we can go about doing this. We can't just bust in there, swinging axes and trying to take a stone.
The last time Strix and Evelyn checked out the estate, it was heavily guarded by Castellanter guards, house guards, wearing the livery of the house, and members of the City Watch.
It's probably totally fine. We can probably just go in cordially and use our best manners and explain to them why Diaz needs to use the stone for a minute, and maybe we can like babysit their chain child for a little while, give them a break. You know, Simon can say hi to some of his friends there.
Ooh, maybe we should
He
bring
made such
Simon.
good friends, Paulton told me.
I don't think we
Paulton told me he made great friends there.
No, he tried to join a cult.
What?
Did I tell you that?
I don't remember.
I don't think I did.
Probably not.
Nope. No, I don't think you did.
So
Look,
that knowledge is not known.
I think it's safest that Simon not go with us. I mean, every time Simon tries to go with us, it always ends up being complications.
Well, of course, my son tries to join a cult. His mother, all defying priests and everything all over the place. It's a terrible example. And Evelyn's just muttering to herself and wandering around.
Simon will tell Paulton that he told Leaven that he joined a cult.
Okay. Yeah. Paulton just like leans in, just like, hey, above game, how do you know that?
Me?
Yeah.
Because Strix just said it.
Okay. That works out then. That checks out.
Okay.
Your meta knowledge radar is going off.
On the way to the cast lanterns, can we have a nice time?
Yeah.
Can we have a nice time, please?
You'll pass by the high road. There's usually lots of merchants there. Not that they have any money to buy anything, but you can always look. And as you move into the Sea Ward, you start to see people become very well dressed, much more so than the rest of the city. So fashion is always something you can look out for in this part of the city. See the latest fashions, what the women and the men are wearing out on the street. The sights, there are lots of flowers and flower boxes around, so it's really quite beautiful this time of year.
Is Paulton's rep here like enough to just like walk through the streets and just like high five people and be like, oh hey, how's it going? Just enjoying a nice day out, you know, just trying not to.
It is likely that based on his reputation that he might get stopped a few times, recognized. Water Davians tend to be not too showy. And they don't go crazy at the drop of a hat. So it's more like you might get tips of the hats, or women suddenly fanning them, and young men fanning themselves with their hands or whatnot as you go by.
Okay, good. Just trying to get.
Okay, good. People are noticing me.
Good.
Strix is gonna collect flowers on the way. And
Okay.
just like start putting them in her hair.
Just slipping them out of people's flower boxes and
Yeah.
putting them in her hair. Okay.
Yeah.
You notice that? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, she like looks at Evelyn. She's like, "Look, Evelyn, look! I put flowers in my hair. Look. Do you want one?"
Oh, sure, that'd be real nice. And you notice that Evelyn's like reaction to this normally would be like, flowers in your hair. That looks so cute. But it's like noticeably more subdued and like, yes, that's very nice. Thank you. I'll take a flower. Okay.
Brooks
While
is
that's
so
going on,
sad
Strix,
by
you're sort of attracting swarms of pigeons that seem to follow you around everywhere. Just like the singing song at the beginning of Sleeping Beauty or Cinderella, where the song attracts all the birds.
La la la.
Yeah.
You're
La la la.
Strix is literally doing this to try and cheer Evelyn up, and it's not working. And then she notices it's not working, and she just gets so defeated, and it's just like, and just walks with her head down.
All
Why
right.
are you walking with your head down? The flowers will fall out.
All the flowers fall out at once.
No, Evelyn collects them and tries to put them back. She's like, "What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you? I was trying to cheer you up.
I'm perfectly cheery."
You are
Look.
you're acting. No, that's not what that is. We need to have a group meeting, maybe with Dr. Sex 'em Up.
No more sex them up.
When you get to the Castellanter Villa at the corner of Delzorn and Diamond Street, you see that it is a white-walled structure, very kind of pristine looking, but like many of the other estates around it, clearly quite old. Because it is a walled compound, getting in is normally through a front gate, which is closed at the moment. However, it is not guarded. And you can see the buildings beyond the wall. There are two main buildings. One is what appears to be a guest house on one corner, and then the main manor. There is also a carriage house. Having been here once before, you know that once you go through the gate, it's a walk through a garden, essentially, to get to the main entrance of the manor. And there's like butterfly gardens and a greenhouse and other things
Right.
on the estate.
Well, I think someone who can speak real nice and have good etiquette should probably lead.
On it.
Wait.
Paul just takes lead. Here we go. Just like
Okay.
hand in hand at whatever time.
Okay. When you approach the gate, Paulton, you can see that there are what appear to be members of the city watch inside the gate, on the grounds. And one of them comes over to the gate and stares at you through the bars, the gilded bars.
Good afternoon, to you, sir, or madame, or whatever it is that you identify as. How are you?
Evelyn's already face palming so hard. It's like,
This guard, a woman in her 30s, says, "Move along, dear sir. This is a private residence, and no
We are
guests
aware.
are expected."
We are in need of a somewhat spur-of-the-moment consultation with, I like lean back. I'm just like, we're at the Castle Lanterns, right? Yeah, Castle. With the Castle Lanterns. We are both, I don't know if you know me, but word has gone around of Seppa and Seppa, attorney at law. I am said attorney.
When you mention that you're an attorney, the spark in her eyes just sort of goes out, and she just sort of looks at you dully.
should have gone with the musician.
I'm also Waterdeep's very own Paulton Seppa. Entertainer, performer, single?
She sort of cocks her head a little bit and says, "A singing attorney?"
Yes, that's right. Paulton Seppa, the singing attorney.
She looks at the wine flask in your hand, looks at you, and says, and then she says, "I don't have time for this. Please, just leave."
It's like, please, it's very important. It's a matter of,
Are the rest of you like standing behind him, like within view through the gate?
Probably. Or at least at this point, Dieth is probably starting to approach, seeing how poorly it's going.
Paulton just kind of leans in. It's like, it's a matter of the child.
And she frowns a little bit at that point and looks over her shoulder at the other guards and says, "Wait here." And you see her walk back among the trees. Dieth, as you move up and you look through the gate, you can see Captain Alice Kelladonna on the grounds that this guard is talking to right now.
Oh,
And some other guards as well.
Alice.
Oh, shoot.
What's she doing here?
Your colleague.
She seems to be
Yes.
here. Since they're all in uniform, she would be here on official business.
Yeah, that raises any suspicion. It's just if I could get an opportunity to speak to my colleague, that would help.
As her eyes are drawn toward the gates, it's at that time you and her connect, eyes to eyes. When she sees you, she gestures for a couple guards to follow, then walks over to the gate and opens them up in front of you. And she says, "Mr. Woodrow, pleasure to see you here. Is this...
Shouldn't
you
it be
here-
Captain Woodrow?
Are you here on business?"
Lieutenant,
Captain.
Captain. I am. I'm here on business. Yes. What are you doing here? What's going on here?
She looks at her other guards and sends them over to keep an eye on the house so that she is now alone with the four of you. And she says, "Several of the Castellanter guards were driven off the residence. There is something has happened inside the estate. No one's quite sure, but the windows are painted with blood."
Oh.
Well, I'm sure we can help with that.
The inside, the windows, just blood on the inside.
That's correct. Splattered everywhere. There were screams inside the house. A great deal of loud noises apparently were reported, and the guards who fled did. They said that in some places on the grounds, chains erupted and tried to drag them down.
Chains.
Oh,
Yes.
we know what that is.
Although we haven't seen anything like that since we've
Oh, yeah,
arrived.
they
I've
have
been
a
tasked.
chain demon inside.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh,
Yeah,
nothing.
they have
Please
a-
continue.
Tricks.
No, what?
Oh, their kid was a chain devil. I'm sorry. It was
I mean, aren't all kids at that age just
No,
chain
like
devils? I mean,
actual with chains coming out of it.
Are you saying there's a devil locked in here?
No,
There
absolutely not.
absolutely is.
It's PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Strix. She knows not what she's saying. Her mind is in 4 places at once.
she is quite a planar traveler.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Well, my orders are to stand guard at the estate until we find someone who can enter the premises legally.
Oh, we totally can. We're invited guests.
Make a deception
And
check.
here's the captain.
Is that deception? Evelyn thinks they were invited.
No, that's deception.
Oh. Okay. Hold on.
Even if you self-delude yourself into thinking, it's still deception.
Would it be deception at advantage if you actually believe it?
It's like a self-deception check. It is 14.
Okay. And she says, "I can't believe you, of all people, would lie to me, a captain of the guard."
I thought that we were invited.
You know,
Maybe
it's a
I just
crime.
made that up in my head. I'm sorry. I don't know who I am lately. Evelyn
we're
just
not
kind of
liars,
sulks
we're
to the back.
Dumb.
Well, look, if we need to have permission to enter the premises, as captain of the watch, this is something that I do wish to investigate, and I require the assistance of my associates.
That's us.
She says, "Well, I can't give you permission to enter.
Well, who can?
I don't know.
I'd like to speak to them.
Well, then who's in charge here?
She says, I'm in charge of this detachment of guards until I'm relieved by Captain Karkaroka. Now, you recognize that name because you met Captain Karkaroka at the Castellanter estate when the Castellanters were bragging that they had bought him. She says, until then, until I get orders from a commander of the watch or someone of the Castellanter family, we will remain out here and make sure nobody gets inside.
Kakaroka. Kakaroko's in charge of this investigation right now.
Well, there hasn't been an investigation. Nobody has initiated one. But Karkaroka operates out of a watch post here in this part of Seaward, and this is part of his beat.
Dieth will like kind of get as close as he can to Alice and just
She'll
lower
lean
his
in.
voice. Yeah, it's kind of lower his voice, like, how much have you spoken to Karkaroka, and what's your relationship with him like?
We're both the same rank. Other than that, we have virtually no contact.
Karkaroka is bought by the Castellanters. They've said so themselves. And if he's not letting anyone in, he's covering up something here.
I see. Well, then I see no recourse but to let you inside.
Yeah. We can make it
can't-
quick.
We're not at the mercy of the corrupt.
That's right, Alice. I just want to do the right thing, and everyone that I have here with me are, strangely, experts in this field of stuff.
All right, go do the right thing.
Thank you, Alice. I won't forget this. And he'll do like a real awkward, just like shoulder tap.
She just looks at your hand on her shoulder. Really?
Just
It's okay. If you need us, we'll be outside.
certainly. Stay on alert. If you hear any kind of signal, we might need your assistance.
Yeah, 'cause it's probably a devil.
When Evelyn walks by, she's just like,
All right. When you go to the house, you find that the front door is not locked.
Ah,
First I'm going to cast mage armor on myself and stop being an idiot about that.
Okay. Good. Very good.
Yeah, I would like to do that. And I'm going to stop us from entering it and say, there is a devil in here. We are going to have to fight it. Please let us get ready somehow. Anything to prepare ourselves. Like, Evelyn, can you, like, bless us or something with non-anti-devil stuff?
yeah, how about I just turn on my super healing powers?
Sure. Just anything. It's
Or
gonna be
protection
bad.
from evil.
I have that.
Oh, you
as
want
well.
that instead? I can do that.
Either or.
I can also do protection from evil.
Evelyn,
Well-
do you sense any kind of devils nearby? Is it still within the premises?
Can I do my divine sense and reach out with my Lathander senses?
Yes, and when you do, you sense a powerful, singular, evil fiend.
Does it feel the same as that chain demon?
Yes, and it's coming from the house that looms before you.
It's in there. Just
That's
one.
what-
Same one.
On one of the upper floors, it seems.
All right.
Last time you saw it was in the attic, so that's not unexpected.
All right. So it's definitely going to be in there. If this thing is causing it, then we need to stop it and take it down. This will likely anger the Castellanters, but at this point, we're not trying to win favors with them. Maybe stopping this would be a favor to them. I don't know.
Maybe.
what did we tell the guards we're doing in here? Did we say we're gonna go in and slay a devil?
pretty much.
Okay.
Does anyone want a death ward before we go in?
I mean, how many do you have?
As many as we need, really.
How many slots do you
Not
have?
on everybody.
I rested, so I have 3 slots of 4th level. I might want to save at least one of them for some polymorph, so...
So Death Ward,
Whatever.
anyone?
Yeah, everyone. Death ward, everyone.
One of those.
I'll take one.
Well,
Alright.
there's 3 slots. Boom, boom, boom.
Alright, so she will give death ward to everyone besides herself.
Okay.
All right.
If anyone wants me to perform a dedication ceremony to Lathander, I could do that for them. If you wanted to be devoted to his service, which
Nope,
means that you
time
can
out.
roll a d4 and add the number rolled to any save
I can already do
for
that.
the next 24 hours.
I can already do-
Anybody want a D10 for the next 10 minutes?
Yeah, that'd be nice. Oh wait, I don't really need that. Give it to Evelyn or Diaz.
Does anyone?
Evelyn's just pouting. No one wants a Lathander ceremony.
I'll take a Lathander ceremony. I'll give you a little song in exchange.
Does
Well,
anyone-
is it you have to really mean it. This is something you can only do once. You said earlier that you wanted, you believed in Lathander and you wanted more Lathander in the world, and you believed in, that the world needed more of this God stuff. So if you really mean it, I could dedicate you to a service right now.
You know what? I think I'll give it a few more services until I commit to such a ceremony. It sounds enticing, and I definitely want to learn more about it. It sounds like a lot to do right before running into a
I mean, it could be the right time to do it right before running into a devil. I'm just saying. But I understand, no pressure.
How long is said ceremony?
Well, I mean, it's kind of up to you. How long? I mean, like, what do you want your moment of dedication to Lathander to be like?
You know what? Let's just make like a kid and put a pin in that.
That's a horrible joke.
Time to leave.
during
go.
all of this, while everyone's
late?
like casting all these spells and stuff on each other, Diaz just like
Yeah.
patting himself down, just kind of goes, "Does anyone want a dagger? You might be able to hit with it."
Oh, you're a great shot, Diaz. Don't
right.
sell yourself short.
And I'll
But
I'll
those
just grant
daggers,
it.
those daggers won't work against the devil. So let's just go in.
Okay.
Yeah, and I granted a bardic inspiration to
Evelyn?
so that's a D10.
Okay.
What song do you play her?
I improv some kind of Lathandery thing, but it's totally just like zero knowledge. Like Lathander is really dope. He's like the Lord of Light. It's
Christmas
bright,
light.
like the sun. Lathander is pretty sick.
Evelyn's like, I love that song.
Can we
All
just
right.
take a moment? That's the only time Nate has ever sung on the show, and that's
True. That's true. I was thinking that same thing, but I wasn't going to call it out.
All right.
The new hit song, Lathander, is pretty dope. The metal cover will be on tour.
Exactly.
Diaz will place a hand onto the doorknob and put a shoulder to it and turn back to everyone else, just like, remember, we need to take care of this, but we're also looking for the Stone of Galore. Let's see if we can get both. And with that, he'll like push his way in very triumphantly.
Okay. Make a strength check because there's something
Oh, heck.
pushing against the door.
All right, guys, serious time. Hold on. Let's find out.
I like
Oh,
how
I got
it's.
it right.
Ooh.
19?
Okay. Yeah, you open the door. So the entrance to this place has this sort of beautiful gilded devil-like knocker to it, very fearsome gargoyle-ish image staring at you as you shoulder the door open. As you push the door open, you see the foyer beyond has curtained windows, and you see blood splattered everywhere and tears in the walls, as if something in the walls kind of tore out and ripped out a bunch of the plaster, and the plaster just sort of lies all fallen away on the floor. Almost like if you had grabbed like a handful of wiring and just ran with it, and the wiring just sort of tore ribbons up through the walls. What was holding the door shut is a corpse of a guard, or rather the top half of a guard who's been sheared in half. You see his legs, the lower part of him, torn away in another part of the room. Almost looks like he was just sort of ripped in half. And you can also see that deeper in the dark recesses of this foyer, which has 2 other exits off of it, there's something hanging from the ceiling, and it's not a chandelier. It appears to be a body hanging from a pair of chains that have dropped through the ceiling. And the body is that of a tiefling.
Does it look similar to the tiefling nanny?
With your dark vision, Strix, and you peer inside, your eyes quickly adjust, and you see that it is the tall tiefling manservant to Lord Victoro Castellanter. And he's just swinging there in these 2 chains.
Oh boy.
And the spikes of the chains are impaling his body and basically holding him in place.
Okay.
We gotta set up some really strong defenses here. This is really bad.
Strix, these chain devils, what are we dealing with?
Bad. It's bad. Is there anything I can tell them based off of like Arcana?
Sure, make an Arcana check.
I got a 12.
Okay, but you've actually made this check before and done better, so the last time you met the devil.
Yeah, I did,
This was mainly to see if you learned anything else. So what you know about them is, based on your studies of infernal creatures, Holly, that chain devils, which are some of the most humanoid-looking ones, although their bodies are completely wrapped in chains, they can animate chains around them and nearby. They're sadistic beyond belief. They're torturers in the infernal realms, relishing pain and thriving on inflicting it on others. They are called on to torment mortal souls and unleash their sadistic fury upon lesser devils as well. Their abilities are akin to that of most devils, which is to say they're resistant to cold, they're resistant to non-magical weapons unless they're silvered, and they're immune to fire and poison. They also have dark vision, and they speak infernal, and who knows what else. Like many devils, they probably have telepathy as well. But terror is their shtick.
And we remember that this was one of the Castellanter children that was turned into this demon, right?
They're adult child. They're essentially teenage
Yeah, we were shown this.
Child. You were taken upstairs, and he was lashed by his own chains in the attic with magical sigils around him, preventing him from escaping.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell everyone again, just say the best thing that I think that we can do is try and get it to come to us while we're in some kind of protective place.
Do you think there's anything we can do to change him back into a child?
I have to check that. I'll Arcana check that because I have no idea.
Because I can remove curses.
I got a 16.
Okay. What's your question, Nate?
My question is, can we leave? I'm trying to figure out the part where we go and we fight this thing is a good idea.
Well, I have to fight this thing. It's, evil incarnate.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
But what if you didn't?
Then I would lose any last vestiges of my paladinhood and be very confused about my identity.
But what if preparing better to fight this thing
we're
is
prepared.
part of why you leave?
I think. Can you, Paulson? Can you do that locate object thing and find the stone so that we know where it is? We might be able to get out faster. Like we might be able to get out faster by getting the stone and then just leaving and having the guards help us take down the devil.
Did I have enough? Wait, let me see.
With your roll, Strix, you were able to determine that a chain devil, like all devils, are damned creatures. They're paying or suffering for some evil inflicted by themselves or others. It's not is not so easily undone as by a remove curse spell or anything like that.
Yeah, this is big magic that doesn't have an undo. Sorry.
That's okay. I understand. That means we have to send his soul to Lathander to be fixed.
I know it's not going to Lathander, but it'll go somewhere.
And it'll get fixed.
It'll go back to the help.
That you're not
Into a new dawn.
that you're not certain about, because you believe, based on what the Castellanders told you, this chain devil was created a little bit differently than normal.
Oh yeah, that's right. So it might.
It was basically a soul given to the Nine
Right.
Hells as part of a deal, not an evil person who descended to the Nine Hells, became a devil.
Right.
So you're not exactly sure what will become of its soul if this form of it is destroyed.
Well, if anything, its soul will be in a better place than stuck in this devil.
Absolutely, which is why we need to free him.
All right, so let's
The
stay
stone
here.
the stone's an object, not a creature, right?
In its current form, you believe it's an object.
Yeah, I can't do anything.
Okay. Well,
I could
Here's the-
locate object, I think. Let me double check. I sure
could-
can. Hold on. I cast locate object.
And you're searching for the Stone of Golor, and the range is 1,000 feet, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You are not picking it up.
It's not here.
maybe it's just hidden in like a bag of holding or something.
If that were the case, you would not sense it.
It could just be hidden. Let's not assume otherwise.
Well, I feel like this stopped becoming about the stone and became about this devil thing, this demon.
Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you're just going about your day, and demon happens, and you got to deal with it.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Even if you don't want to.
Don't you remember that time we just went outside and then Evelyn just killed someone on the street who turned out to be a devil?
Look, I have a really nice job with flexible hours, but sometimes that means being on call, and this is one of those times.
Okay, if we can figure out a way to get it to come to us, then
Oh, I can do that. I'll just yell at it.
Well, let me finish my sentence before you start screaming at a demon. Okay, so if we can get it to come to us, we could chill in the hut, and I feel like we'd be relatively protected.
That sounds good.
Well, hiding in a hut doesn't stop a devil.
Right.
At that point in time,
Oh, yep, here we go.
Paulton,
says,
what's your armor class?
Oh, no.
That depends on the roll.
That's how it works.
No.
15.
$14?
15.
15? Okay. A chain bursts out of the ceiling and attacks you.
Well,
It's like, look, we just need to figure out if we can hut, then...
do anything.
All right, y'all, we're doing it now.
Right
Yeah.
when that happens, I'm like, does anyone ever notice when we try to plan things and it always starts to attack us before we have a plan?
You take 11 points of slashing damage as it wraps around you, pulls you up into the ceiling.
No!
All right.
You just sort of crash up into the ceiling.
The chain grabs me, and Paulton just looks up, and he goes, I'm going to go now.
Yeah, so he gets yoinked off his feet and ripped up into the ceiling of this vaulted foyer.
Evelyn?
Evelyn follows immediately. No!
All right, let's roll initiative.
We talked too long.
I think we talked the appropriate amount.
Strix, what's your initiative?
I got 18.
Diath,
17.
Evelyn,
15.
Paulton,
21.
21. Paulton, what do you do as you are torn up into the ceiling and you're being pulled between floors? So between the ceiling of the room you've just got yanked up into and the floor of the level above, dragged among support posts and pipes and other things.
Have I stopped?
You have not. You continue to be pulled away from your friends through the innards of the house. And actually, you take some more damage at the start of your turn. You take another 8 points of damage
Oh, fun.
as you are smashed and buffeted against the insides of the house.
Okay. Are my like arms? Can I?
You can still use weapons and manipulate your arms or cast spells or stuff like that, but you are grappled effectively.
Okay. I'm just gonna like thunder wave where I am. I'm just like, panic explosion.
All right, sort of toward where you're being pulled, or just okay.
I'm being pulled.
I love that you're like, up.
All
right.
Up there looks good.
Go ahead and roll damage.
Okie dokie. I'm doing that at 5th, so that's what's that? Okay. Okay, so oh, 19.
So before the rest of you can react, and you hear Paulton being dragged through the house, then there's suddenly this thunderous explosion.
28.
Okay, that's enough to shatter the chain that's grabbing you, and also shatter the area around you. And you plunge back out of the ceiling down into the foyer, about 15 feet away from where you were, and land on the ground, taking 2 points of damage.
So I like clear everything, and
Yeah.
there's like that moment where I'm just kind of floating midair. It's like, yeah, I did it. Uh-oh.
Right. And then all of this, there's this huge rain of plaster and wood and other debris down around you. And the rest of you see this. He just got pulled up through the roof, dragged about 10 feet through the ceiling, and then fell back down after this thunderous explosion blasted a hole in everything.
Petition to rename us the Demolition Crew.
There we go.
Paulton, so you see Paulton laying on his back staring at the ceiling. It's like, it's up there. I did my part.
And the rest of you can hear what sounds like chains rattling between walls. But it is now Strix's turn. Strix, there doesn't appear to be anything to attack at this point. Although there's two big gaping holes in the roof.
Okay. I would like to. I saw where. Okay, I can't mute myself, so Paco's just gonna be.
That's
cute
fine.
and just
That's
flip
totally
part
cool.
out. Okay. So I can't see anything currently, and but I saw where Paulton was taken. Right.
Yeah, he was taken up into the house.
All right. So I will use my action to turn my staff into a broom
Okay.
and fly up the hole.
Okay, now as you would expect, there's not a ton of space between the ceiling on the level you are and the floor above you. It's like a crawl space. So as you fly up there, you can sort of stick your head up in, and you're like, oh my God, Paul just got pulled through about 10 feet of that.
Okay, so he got pulled through the crawl space.
Yeah. And so as you peer up and you look into the darkness of the crawl space, you see actually something pretty unnerving. It's like a nest of chains rattling around in the crawl space.
Ugh. I just yell, "It's gross up here!"
Yep.
So if I see the chains, at least I know that's part of the devil. So I'm going to cast my Spirit Guardians at 5th level.
Up here?
Just around me.
Okay.
Because like they can fly. I mean, they like fly like chickens, so they're
Got
just
it.
trying really hard.
Okay. Yeah, so these flapping spectral chickens surround you in sort of a 15-foot radius.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm kind of like, and they do radiant damage. I don't know. I'm trying to just like have as many radiant things around me as I can.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's see. You turned your thing into a broom. You flew up and you cast the spell. So you're probably about done.
Yeah, that's all my movement.
Dieth, what do you do?
I tell him it's gross up here.
That's a great question.
And you know there are 2 doors leading off of this hall. One to the left and one to the left and one at the end of the hall.
Before I do anything else with these walls that were kind of like scratched up and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Did it look like they were just like attacks against the wall, or did it look like something was like trying to like search through the wall? Or
It
maybe
looks like, because all the damage has fallen outward, that something burst out of the wall.
Okay.
Like whatever, something was inside, between the walls, between rooms, essentially, and burst out.
These are walls going to other rooms, not walls like the outside.
That's correct. They're
Okay.
interior walls.
Okay. I kind of want to dart over there and check that out real quick.
Okay, you go to one of the tears, and as you
Yeah.
do, and you listen, you can hear through the structure of the house the sound of chains rattling inside the walls.
Oh my God, it's like going through the whole damn place.
It seems that way.
Uh-oh.
It's like the house is alive with the demon.
Just at any point in time, a chain can burst out.
As you just saw.
Yeah, okay. Okay. I guess another thing I want to do is run. I guess I'll use my cunning action to dash, and then make my way over to the tiefling that was hanging.
Yeah, you don't remember his name, but he was the valet to Lord Castellanter.
Yeah, Strix was saying that they're torturous demons, so I want to make sure this guy's actually dead, not just being tortured.
Okay, you can see that. Well, make a medicine check. He's suspended about 9 feet off the floor.
Okay, medicine. 18.
He's still alive,
Ah.
but obviously in a tremendously bad shape.
Right, and hung up by chains.
Yeah, and the spike chains are piercing his body all over the place, so he's bleeding.
Right.
He's bleeding out slowly.
So I'm just kind of like, okay. Okay, just hang in there. We'll help you in a second. Yeah, that's pretty much my turn. I don't know what else to do. I don't have a way of...
You haven't technically used. Well, I guess making your check was an action. So okay.
Yeah, I haven't done an action or anything like that, but I'm just like, I don't know what else I could really do.
Evelyn, as you are standing in this hallway, moving forward closer to where Paulton fell, you sense that the devil is above you. At least you'd guess one level above you.
And is that more than 30 feet? Like, could I get to it flying?
Well, there's no direct way straight up because the roof. But if there were no impediment, yeah, you could get there in 30 feet.
Well, you see her take Lightfall and like hold it the way she does when she's going to use it as a sunbeam bazooka, aiming right at it. But as soon as she hears Dieth be like, "You're still alive, hold on," she's like, okay. And then she goes and flies up and lays on hands. Well, actually, the action would be to take him down, I guess.
Oh, so you want to try to free him from his spiked chains?
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, it's not just raw strength because that would just inflict more pain on him.
I guess it's dexterity, right?
Yeah. Let's say it's a dexterity check to basically free him from these tangled chains.
Okay.
I guess Dieth will be there to catch him if he falls.
In fact, we'll say it's a dexterity medicine check. So if you have the medicine skill, you can add your proficiency bonus to your dexterity check.
I don't have a medicine skill because you don't need medicine when you have the light of Lathander.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how people die.
Hey, I lay on hands very well.
Vaccinate your kids.
Yeah.
I only got an 11 on the dex check.
Okay. You are not able to untangle him, and actually when you try, you see that the chains are actually resisting you and tightening around him.
Not cool.
Like they're alive. Alive!
Oh, can't I have Bardic Inspiration, right? Can I add that to that?
That's a check, so yeah, you sure
Ooh,
can.
I'm gonna
D10.
add my D10. When I feel them start to resist, I remember the beautiful song Paulton sang me, and I add 5 for a total of 16.
You
Thunder
are
is dope.
you are successful thanks to the
Lathander's
inspiration.
dope!
And you free this tiefling and bring him out of the chains onto the floor.
Evelyn tries to approximate the song as she carries him to the ground, like, Lathander is so dope, he's sick, and he's really cool. She's just making up her own words.
Nice.
I wrote that song.
Yeah. You said you were going to say something, Jared?
Oh, Dieth was just going to be there to catch up when she releases him.
Okay.
She'll put him in Dia's arms.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And he's, of course, still in really bad shape, but no longer being tortured by the chains. Next is Paulton. Actually, before Paulton, the devil. The chains that have no longer have the tiefling wrapped in them start to kind of lash about. And one of them detaches from the ceiling to swing down and grab you, Dieth. This is against your dexterity. That'll be a 26 to hit, so I'm guessing yeah.
Cool.
So Dieth,
Is
you
it
are...
a saving throw or just armor class?
It's just armor class.
Okay.
So it hits you for a total of 12 slashing damage. You are grappled by the chain, and then it pulls you up into the ceiling.
I want to uncanny dodge the initial attack at least, but
So
like
take
as
6.
I'm like leaping away, like so grab around me.
Yeah. Okay, so you take half the damage, so 6 points. You are grappled and pulled up into the crawl space of the ceiling. The other chain is going to attempt to snare Evelyn. And,
As I'm being pulled up, I'm just gonna quick be like, "Don't worry about me."
okay.
Oh.
Evelyn, does a 18 hit you?
I'm two-handing my axe right now, which gives me +2 to AC, so I have 18 exactly.
Okay, so it does get you.
Dang it!
So
I always forget which the rule is. Like, it goes.
It wraps around you. You take 8 points of slashing damage from its barbs and sharp edges, and it coils around you, grapples you, and pulls you up into the crawl space as well.
Lathander's dope!
So now, Paulton, on your turn, you're just sort of lying there prone amidst this plaster, and you and Strix are now alone in the foyer with this dying tiefling.
So everyone got pulled up.
Not everyone,
the-
just Dieth and Evelyn.
Okay.
And Paulton, it's your turn.
So we're still sticking to this. We're going for it, right?
Now, Paulton, you know that Evelyn is not going to let this devil live. I mean, she kills people in the street, so we have to deal with it.
Okay. I'm going to.
I think you should spend more time trying to make her happy.
I'm gonna try and.
He just ignores it.
I like-
I think
So
she really
I
needs
still
her
don't
help
have
right
like a good feel on where it is. Like if I tried to say banish it,
No, you don't. You can't do that right now. You don't see it.
and there isn't a good way up there for me, one who cannot fly.
Well, having been in the house before, you know that if you go through the door at the end of the foyer, that will take you to this central chamber that has a sweeping staircase that goes upstairs. So you're one room away from a staircase leading up.
So I just look up and I call out to the demon. I'm just like, on my own terms, I'm going to take the stairs. And I will make my way toward the stairs.
Okay, you stand up, you walk over, dust the plaster off yourself, open up the door leading into the central chamber. In this foyer, you can see it has a marble floor. It's very elegant, and the sweeping staircase goes upstairs. You can see that there are mutilated corpses everywhere. At least half a dozen guards have been rent to pieces, flayed by chains, as it were. You can see tears in the walls through which the chains erupted. You can see drag marks across the floor and places where the chains must have picked them up and smashed them against the marble floor and against the staircase and against pretty much every other surface in this room. So there's everything is just dripping with blood and gore and broken weaponry. You can also see halfway up the staircase a face-down figure that also looks as dead as the guards, and it appears to be the kid's tiefling nanny.
Ugh.
Paulton peeks in and just gives a, huh. And then,
But more disturbing than that is the sound of music coming from the level above. You hear a harpsichord being played, somber tunes, minor key.
Why is it always a minor key?
so Paulton is going to re-shut that door and not enter it.
Okay. He goes
like-
back out into the foyer.
Just, that way is taken. So because I've been here,
Mm-hmm.
could I visualize the room that I suspect they're in?
If you think it's the room above you, where the music seems to be coming from, yes, because you did walk through that room at one point. It is the conservatory and ballroom.
Okay. Now, a follow-up question for Dimension Door. Is it like a portal situation where I can open it up and like look through, or is it like a big, just, doorway of glowing light that's just like jump through and good luck on the other side?
It's not a scrying device. It's just like a rectangular doorway of light that you step through that deposits you wherever you intend.
Okay.
So it's a door, but not a window.
Okay. Well, when Lathander opens a window or something.
something.
Try and Dimension Door through.
Okay, so your goal is basically a dimension door to the floor above, the room above.
Yeah.
Okay. You see the dimension door appear, Strix, near Paulton.
Paulton turns to Strix, and again, I'm going to go now. Again.
Like, why do you keep saying that? It's weird and creepy.
And then he steps through the plane and disappears before your eyes, and it's snapped shut behind him.
All right, bye.
So, Strix, you are now alone with the dying tiefling. Paulton. You can hear the chains in the walls all around you, but it's a faint sound compared to the music being played by the harpsichord. And this room that you have dimension doored into, as I said, it's a very large conservatory, an elegant, or once elegant, ballroom. Marble floor with a dazzling mosaic, and in an alcove in one end of the room is the harpsichord, facing a window looking out onto a balcony. You can see the mosaic of a silver chalice with the image of a golden sun worked into the design of the window, which is otherwise spray painted with blood, as many of the other windows here, and the tapestries and curtains are likewise covered in blood. You also see chains hanging down from the ceiling where they've come through cracks. Seated at the harpsichord is a creature that looks like a man-sized being wrapped head to toe in chains. And it is playing the harpsichord with its back to you, and all the chains draping off it are sort of writhing and moving around it. And some of them are actually gone into the walls and floor. So it's sort of anchored at the harpsichord and just playing it with all the passion that it can muster. Dancing around you in the room is a ballroom mannequin.
Oh.
A black mannequin clad in a black gown, faceless, and it's just sort of pirouetting and dancing in a circle around you. And it looks like it must have been doing that before you showed up. You just happened to appear in the middle of it.
Cool.
And while this creature is playing this music, you can hear Evelyn and Diath rattling around, or being dragged through the crawl spaces of the house under your feet.
Went too high.
And the devil says to you, I suppose, although he doesn't turn to face you, Jazat akresh uzatzlar. Do you speak Infernal, perchance?
I don't.
Okay. Then you have no idea what he just said.
I just kind of reply like, perhaps in a common or elvish?
The mannequin sort of spins around in front of you, bows before you, and tries to extends its arms as if to sweep you up in dance.
Just like, yeah, why the hell not?
Okay.
Just take a hand.
All right.
Dance.
You actually have a choice. Do you want to lead or do you want to follow?
I will follow. I'm
Okay.
going to see what this mannequin has in mind.
All right. That's your turn. Strix. You're downstairs in the foyer.
All right.
Two of your friends have been pulled up into the crawl space in the ceiling. And you hear them being dragged away from you.
Well, this tiefling below me that's right here, I'm going to heal them.
Okay. So you
there's
kneel
a-
down next to this tall male tiefling. He's an older tiefling, and you've met him a few times. He was a little bit of an ass to you the first time you met him, and he was with Lord Victorio Castellanter at the auction,
Yes.
so you've seen him a couple
Yes.
times. How much healing do you want to give him?
I'm just giving him a really weak one, so that's only 6 points, but it's just to stabilize him and wake him up, more or less.
All right.
It's only a level 1.
He clutches at you as soon as he
Okay.
gets the strength to lift his arms and sort of pulls you down close, and he, with his yellow fangs and his bloody breath, says to you, Osvaldo has escaped, freed by the father of evil.
Oh. Was he here? The father of evil, was he here?
You see him nod, wide-eyed in terror.
Ah! All of you here through the house, it's worse!
All right. Dieth?
Well, I tell him, I just
Oh,
say,
sorry.
get out of here, run. You don't need to be here. Like, save yourself and stop worshiping evil gods for the love of the gods.
He says, It was the lady of the house. She should not have hurt you.
Oh.
And then he starts to crawl across the floor and try to get to his feet.
I just yelled, do you know where the stone is?
He shakes his head.
Right. So are they here? Are the Castellanters here? Are they dead?
He looks at you, feared, looks up back at the house and says, I don't know.
All right. Well, go out. Tell the guards that you're injured and that we healed you.
Yes. And he stumbles away.
Okay.
You take some damage, Dieth, at the start of your turn.
Yep.
7 points as these chains tighten and constrict you.
Okay.
What do you do?
Real quick question.
Yeah.
Are any of my chickens around any of the chains?
No, not down here.
Okay. All right. Then I'm done.
Are they like still pulling me? in
Yeah,
a
you're
direction?
being dragged through the innards of the house, essentially. You come to a corner, and then they start to pull you up between walls.
All right. So I'm basically going to let them continue to pull me.
Oh, okay. All right. Evelyn, what do you do?
So
Oh,
I'm
you
just
take
being,
you take some damage as well. I'm sorry. You take 10 points of damage from the constricting, raking chains.
okay. So I'm just being like pulled through this crawl space, and I still don't have any idea like where the actual.
Yeah, you don't know where the fiend is. Although, if this thing is controlling chains all through the house, it's possible it might be bringing you to it.
And I still have my divine sense, right? When I had the divine sense, was it just like the whole house, or do I have a direction?
No, you're able to bead in on it with your divine sense. And you can see as you're being pulled through the crawl spaces of the house that you're kind of moving around it now as you start to get pulled up into the house a little bit. And it almost feels like if this were to continue, you'd almost sort of circle it. But you are getting closer to it. And obviously you know TF is being dragged with you. He's a little bit ahead of you.
Since she knows that Dieth is in the chains as well, and that she doesn't know the location of the rest of the party, again, she has her axe almost in bazooka mode, but then it passes and she lets it go. She doesn't do it because she doesn't want to accidentally fry somebody.
Fair.
Because she doesn't have careful spell. And so she'll hold action until she is in range of the demon itself.
Okay.
Can she do that?
Yeah, essentially she can act once the demon or devil reveals itself.
Yeah, so I'm just going to hold action on a melee attack, basically.
Okay. All right, then that takes us to the bottom of the initiative. So we're back at the top with the demon. Paulton, you are following this creature, this mannequin, as it leads you and does a dance. You're not sure what song the devil is playing at the harpsichord, but this animated construct that you're dancing with, this faceless thing where you can see your own reflection in its black, shiny, marble-like, opal, faceless head.
Illustrative.
And you feel like it is like the best dancer you've ever had the privilege of dancing with. It must be some sort of dancing instructor mannequin or something. It guides you very well around the room.
Nice.
And you feel strangely safe in its care. The devil continues to talk in Infernal, but you don't know what he's saying or if he's addressing you directly. But the way he's just pounding on this instrument suggests there's a lot of rage that he's pouring out through his music.
Okay.
And it's your turn.
Oh. I'm going to...
This thing, by the way, you get the sense that the way this mannequin is guiding you, it's trying to keep you away from the devil. But it's leading currently, so.
Gotcha. Well, I will continue to be led.
Okay.
And I will... Can I... If I may, I want to like gesture to the mannequin to like hold for a second.
It will do that.
Okay. Can I... Let's see, what do I have? Oh, that's gone. I guess I'll take out my bagpipes and try to play along, if I may, to see if that does anything.
Okay. You pull out your bagpipes. Make a performance check.
That I very much can.
And the rest of you in the house can hear the bagpipes. I mean, those things can be heard for hundreds of feet. So even though you can't hear the more delicate harpsichord music while being dragged and buffeted around the interior of the house and on the lower levels, the bagpipes sound out loudly.
That is a 23.
Okay. And you're trying to just essentially accompany the music that's being played?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In that case, something about the nature of the devil changes. You see its shoulders sag a little bit more, and you actually think it might be weeping. And then Strix, what do you do?
I'm gonna try and find the bagpipe music
Okay.
now that I can hear it.
You think your best bet is to go through the door that Paulton opened then closed.
Okay. All right, I do that.
When you open it, you see and smell the carnage in the main hall with the staircase leading up. And as you make your way up the stairs, you kind of have to sidestep all these body parts.
All right, just putting on the blinders. Just nope, not here.
Okay,
Nope.
but the music does get louder, and you're actually able to reach the top of the stairs, which lead right into the conservatory. And that's when you see Paulton, this black-gowned mannequin, standing before him, not moving, and off on one end of the darkened conservatory, under a beam of sunlight, is a chain devil playing a harpsichord with its back to you.
I'm going to try and talk. Well, first I see Paulton and this mannequin. This is a lot. There's a lot happening here. I'm very the bodies. It's all very overwhelming.
Do I see Strix walk in?
Yeah, you would see her come up the stairs and walk into the conservatory.
Can I try to say something to her real quick before she does anything?
You'll have to stop playing, or you just have to sort of carry a note while you do.
Yeah, because with the bagpipe, I can keep the hum of the key going. So just like in between like melody breaths, just like, I think it's sad. It seems like this is doing something. The mannequin, I think, is chill. What do?
Trix is like, that's a very Paulton explanation, but I think they've spent enough time together where she understands. She's gonna look at the chain devil and in Infernal say, "Are you okay? You need something? Can you let my friends go?"
It says to you in Infernal, "I have no wish to hurt you."
Well, don't hurt my friends either, please.
And it says, "Why are you here?"
Well, we came here. Also, your music is very, very nice. Thank you for playing. Very talented. We just try to compliment.
At this point, Diath and Evelyn, you come crashing through walls as chains basically rent openings in the walls and just sort of cast you into the room.
If that's the case, and I'm now in range, then Evelyn would be attacking without question. She'd be like axe ready, and as soon as the chain pulled her in, like, ah!
Well, Strix is gonna like mom arm and be like, not yet. We're having a conversation.
Would also like to do like in between breaths, like, wait, hold up, we're doing a thing.
So Evelyn is like flying in like, holy rage, and then they're both like, and she's like,
Yeah. No, mom arm.
She stops like this close to it, and she's like,
we're having a conversation, Evelyn. Just a moment. Yeah,
and the chain devil doesn't even turn to face you, Evelyn. You're attacking it from behind.
What do I remember the name of this kid?
Yeah, his name is Osvaldo.
Okay, Osvaldo. I'm gonna say his name poignantly. I'm gonna say, Osvaldo. What happened here?
He says, "I was set free."
Well, technically you're not free because you're still in the body of a devil.
And thus I will always remain, thanks to my parents.
Not necessarily. Like, well, we can free you. I mean, whatever happens when...
No, you can't. I belong to He that is the master of darkness.
Well, I mean, I feel like, those are bendable rules. I mean, he lies all the time, He's not really a great guy.
Terenzio, and Elzarina, we are all three of us damned.
Oh, where are Terenzio and Elzarina?
He plays a heavy note and he says, "They're mine."
They're fine?
They're mine.
I would have rather heard they're fine.
They have a date with the 9 hells.
All right. So is there any way that we could get you to maybe not be evil? Because my paladin friend here is just gonna go ham on you in a moment's notice. She's got a big axe. And I honestly, I don't think this is your fault. I think it's your parents' fault. You know, a lot of us had bad parents, and honestly, we have to realize that they're tieflings are humans too, and that they are not flawless. And sometimes we're very damaged when we become adults. So I think I learned this in therapy. So I think
If you want to help Terenzio and Elzarina, you'll have to go through me.
Oh. Is there anything that we can offer you instead of an untimely death? Devils love bargains, right?
He says, you can save my brother and sister from the damnation that has been cast upon me. Promise that, and I'll let them go. Otherwise, they will stay until the 9 hells claims them.
See, unfortunately, that means that you're still here, though, and I don't think my paladin friend is going to be happy if a devil is still loose at Waterdeep. I look
That's
at Evelyn.
the deal.
I'm just like, and I look back at the party, and I'm like, I don't know, choppy or...
You didn't come here to save them. Why are you here?
Oh, we came to get the Stone of Galore.
That was taken by thieves.
Do you know what the thieves looked like?
Yes. One of them was a woman in a black mask.
Oh.
The other, a creature of shadow.
Creature of shadow. Well,
She
I
was
relayed
hard to
this.
see.
I relayed this to the party and say Black Viper took the stone again.
She's real good at taking stuff.
But I will give you something. Something my parents wanted to keep from you.
Oh!
2 holes tear in the ceiling. Chains come out and just sort of unspool and release the mangled corpses of Lord and Lady Castellanter, who hit the marble floor with splashes.
Oh, gross. Oh, boy.
And they lie dead, torn asunder by their son all around you.
Evelyn's still got her axe and she's looking at the corpses, looking at Strix, looking at the corpses, looking at Strix.
Not really sure what y'all are talking about, but pretty sure that voids a contract.
Yes.
And before they died, I learned everything. It was a long and painful torture session.
Ooh.
The vault lies under a tower in the Sea Ward, not far from the House of the Inspired Hands. The tower is abandoned and has been for years. 3 keys are needed to enter the vault. An animated construct, a beholder eye stalk, and a gift from a queen.
I mean, all women are queens, so.
I tell the party this, especially Dieth, because he's probably writing it down.
So you just call out Diath and say, hey, write this down?
Yeah, I say, Dieth, the stone is under this tower.
Diath.
He's already
Says
like
the
hanging
devil.
upside down.
Oh,
Yeah.
The devil actually says your name, Diath,
Aw.
the devil said your name.
and then says, Shard of Divinity.
The what?
He said shard of divinity.
Diath, that's what that means.
Up.
And he's right, Strix, in Ancient Infernal, Diath's name means Shard of Divinity or Shard of the God.
What?
Yeah.
You just got Chris Perkins.
Did I just remember that? I'm just like, oh no!
No, it's like you never even wouldn't have occurred to you. I mean,
Can someone insight that?
Well, she knows it's true because she
No, it is
speaks
true.
Infernal.
Yeah.
Well, great.
Anyway, that's awful. So, any other things you want to tell us before we get out of here?
he says, if I could kill you, I would. But it is forbidden for me to do so.
Do you know why that is? Because that's really weird.
The one who freed me forbade it.
Do
He
you
said,
know why?
you are too important to him.
Why?
Who freed you?
Asmodeus.
Yeah, Strix is like, yeah, the Lord of all Evil was here earlier.
They are the guardians of his child.
Who's his child? Which child? What child?
He just plays another minor note and says, fuck if I know.
No, but that's important. We need to know who his child is. That's very important.
Who exactly is the guardians of his child? All of us?
Yes.
Oh,
Well, we have like 5 kids, so
we do. It could be one of them or Waffles. I think Waffles is a devil.
I'm sure it's Waffles.
Strix turns over and goes,
Waffles.
is a devil.
Child of Asmodeus.
The twist.
And the devil plays out the rest of the tune and then stops and then turns at you with glaring green eyes that seem to glow.
Here's the deal. Oh no, go ahead, Evelyn. I'm sorry.
No, you finish. I'm just,
No.
waiting for my part.
I don't know what to do here. I'm lost. I'm
And
looking at the part.
the axe blade is really close to his chain-wrapped head, Evelyn. He just sort of stares at it and burns holes of hatred through you. You think that this, despite what he has told you, he is still a cruel and twisted fiend of evil, and that what he would like more than anything is to tear you apart, and would that he could.
I know, and it's not his fault. He just, But I'll help by letting him walk the path into a new dawn.
Well, apparently,
As soon as Strix is done talking to him.
Apparently, he's there to make sure that the 2 younger Castellanters, end up in the 9 hells just as he was cast down. That's basically.
Why do you want your siblings in the hells?
I don't have a choice. The only way you can protect them is to free them from me.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll do that as soon as Strix is done chatting with you.
Well, he can't hurt us, so I mean, if we help them, that means we have to destroy you.
That's real self-sacrificial. I'm sure that
What
the
are
gods
you
will
waiting
smile.
for?
Yeah. Is there anything else you can tell us? Did they say anything else about Dia being the shard of divinity, which I really don't ever want to say again, but I have to? Or like the child or anything? Or
The thieves who came and stole the stone weren't alone. The corpses of their companions lie strewn around the house. They were the only ones who escaped.
all right. Well, I'm sorry that this had to happen to you. And I hope you know that this isn't your fault. This isn't anyone's fault except for Lord and Lady Castellanter for making a deal with someone who is the incarnate of evil.
I've hated them since I was a child.
Well, I'm hoping that we can bring you some peace regardless of what happens. If you're freed of this devil's body, you might be able to go someplace better. So, and that when she says that, she looks at Evelyn and just gives her the eyes of go for it.
He gets mad and he says, "There is no hope. Do not give me hope."
Evelyn pats him on the shoulder and she's like,
Ow.
There's always hope. Sleep sweet.
All right, make an attack roll.
With the axe, that will be, I'm just double checking to make sure. I should have had this up. That will be a 23.
That's it. Roll your damage. And all your fixins, of your divine smiting or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So that's 17 plus 4, which would be 21, and then also 2d6 radiant damage, so 22, 25, And then I have the automatic divine smite, which is 32. Without even doing anything else. Just hitting with my axe is a 32.
Are you happy with that?
I'll take my second attack after that.
Okay. Go ahead. Because he's still alive after taking 32.
That's an 18.
That's a hit.
Okay, so that's going to be, let's see, 11 plus, so 20, 23, 30. Yeah, how's he looking after 30?
Bloodied.
She doesn't want to, like, not finish him off.
Smite him.
Can I add divine smite now?
Sure.
Okay. Do it. Okay, I'm just gonna double check the how many. There we go. Okay, so that adds 1.
You probably don't want to hold back
6.
on this.
Yeah. And then we'll make it a 3rd level spell, so 12, 14, 21, and he's a fiend, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So that's another 22
So 21. So 22 total.
to add to what I just did.
Okay. So you did 62. Then you did another 22 by the sounds of it.
Yeah, so that was by adding divine smite to
Yeah.
my second attack.
So you did a total of 84 points of damage with your 2 attacks to this creature. You just smash it down. It literally collapses through the seat it was sitting on and is now lying at your feet. You can see that it is clinging to the barest thread of life.
This is like, Evelyn finds this very distasteful because it's like not even putting up a fight. She's like trying to put an animal out of its misery. Like when you have a fish and you're trying to like knock it out and it won't get knocked out and you just have to keep doing it. And she's like, you can see her almost like gagging a little bit. Can she take another attack because it's not fighting back?
It's other characters. What are you guys doing as Evelyn's whacking on this thing?
I mean, if he's almost dying, Strix is gonna like walk up and just say, "You have to have hope. Just try. You don't have to be bound to this form. Just have a little bit of hope."
You don't know what you're talking about.
I do, actually.
You are naive, a fool.
Maybe, but I'd rather be a fool than sad.
You have never been to the 9 hells. You don't know what hopelessness is, but you will.
Oh well, I think that hope's a lot stronger than you think it is, and can even beat the hells. But maybe I am naive. But
You see that just cannot register with him at all. It's like it's a complete blind spot to this creature. It has no sense of anything having to do with hope or salvation. It's just not written into its code.
Dieth takes Moonsplinter and Misty steps out of the chains.
All right, done.
Just to get out of that.
They just sort of collapse.
She just looks at Dieth and she's like, "Why don't you finish him off?"
This seemed like Evelyn's thing.
He called you names. I think they were mean names.
All right, Evelyn, there doesn't seem to be anybody stepping up to do your dirty work for you.
That's a 27.
Okay, that hits.
And you said he's just kind of clinging to life at this point, right?
Oh yeah, he's got 1 hit point left.
Okay, well then that'll do it.
Smite him, do it.
Yeah, Chain Devil has 85 hit points. You drive that axe down through its skull, cracking the chains. You feel the house tremble, and then the house begins to fall apart.
No.
Everybody out!
Big
Misty
long
steps, dimension
chunks
doors!
of plaster start to break away from the walls and ceiling. You hear in other rooms things come crashing down.
All the chains inside are coming apart. We have to go.
All right. I will Misty step out.
Is
Take someone with you.
there nearby windows or anything?
There are
Yeah.
windows out onto a balcony
Perfect. We can use that.
and door. Actually,
Everyone,
big
come on.
swinging doors. You can go out onto a balcony. So you go out onto the balcony and you're looking down onto the gardens. You can see some guards out there, vigilant because they've heard noises and things coming from the house. But you step out onto the balcony and you can hear crashing sounds in the house behind you.
It's falling apart. We have to go. We have to get
Wait,
down
what
off the...
what about the kids? The ones that the devil wanted to save?
Oh, no! Do we know what those kids look like? Like,
Oh yeah,
do we...
they've actually been at the Waffle House. They went there for pastries and ice cream.
Right. Okay. Locate creature. Paulton, quick.
Find the children, me.
Now, has Paulton ever met them? That's a good question. Well,
He was there.
I guess he was there. Does he remember them? That's another question. But we'll skip
Look, he
that.
doesn't remember a lot of stuff.
It's true. So let's see. Kids' room. Where is that? That is, they're stuck up in their bedroom, C18. That is one level above you on the other side of the house, Paulton. It's only, in terms of actual distance, it's only about 50 feet away from you, but you have to run up the stairs from the conservatory to get up there.
Evelyn Mom Arms was like, no, the house is falling down. I'll fly.
Well, did I go up there last time I was here?
You went up all the way to the attic. You did not actually enter the area of the house where you can sense that the twins are, but you were close. You were very close. Probably passed outside the room, so yeah.
So yeah, if I could just how many do I have? Good Lord. Okay, if I could dimension door up there, like at least as close as I
Sure.
am.
In the hallway outside the door, you could do that.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
Take one of us with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Who
Me!
Yeah, Evelyn, fly it down. We'll do that.
All right. So you're able to get up to the kids' room, barge in the door, and you can see as the room is collapsing around them, these two kids, the same age, a boy and a girl, huddled on one of the beds together. They look like they've been crying for a long time.
I grab them and hold them like, don't worry. You can stay with us.
Great.
Paul barges in. He's just like, "We're not children. Help has arrived."
All right. And there are windows leading out of here that if you wanted to smash one, you could fly out with them.
Can I carry them both?
You could probably carry one.
Yeah. Can you dimension door out with one of them?
Yeah, I've got one left, so I could take one out.
Okay.
Take one.
I'll take one out the window.
Take one with. I got one dimension door left. As long as you kill one.
While Dieth and Strix are making their way down out of the house into the gardens, there's a crash from the other side of the house as a window smashes, and then suddenly Evelyn's flying out with a little girl in her arms, and Paulton dimension doors out with a little boy with him. And you're able to get both of the kids out of the house in a matter of seconds,
All right.
thanks to Paulton's magic.
Yeah, and as soon as we're out and I see Alice and the rest of the guards, I'm just like, move! Move! Get away!
Alice and the guards, when they see that you've got the kids, Alice sort of frowns and then draws her sword and points it at you, Dieth, and says, "I'm afraid I can't let you take them. Asmodeus won't allow it." And that's where we'll stop.
Alice, you too! No! No!
Everyone's evil!
Ah!
Yeah.
Even Alice. Ah!
She was here to basically kill anybody who escaped from the house.
What if I kiss you a little bit?
So Alice's treacherous, inevitable betrayal will be resolved. Not for a little bit, because we've got a bit of an intruding element here. Next week, there's no regular game, because our production crew and cast are headed down to LA for The Descent. A big live event with many games and events going on, and it's going to be extraordinary. And so we'll be there next week, and then the week after that, the 21st, we would normally be back in town, but actually we still won't be ready to play because we'll be recovering from The Descent. and dismantling everything and getting people back to Seattle and whatnot. So our next regular DCA game is going to be May the 28th. But
So long.
we'll be at the Descent, so watch us on the Twitches if you can't be at the event. And Anna, you might be able to talk a little bit more about this.
Yeah, I will be there hosting, so I'll be on the stream a lot to say hi to y'all and talk to lots of cool people about lots of cool D&D things. But as far as the Waffle Crew, we're each going to be playing in this massive crossover, multi-part, big character bringing together endgamey type of thing. So you'll see each of our characters from Dice Camera Action, but not necessarily together and not necessarily in our usual game format, but you'll see us on the D&D channel. And then also Dice Camera Action will have a signing. So if you are coming in person and you want to come say hi and meet us, we would love to meet you. So you can come to that. And you can find all that info on the D&D website.
Excellent.
There's also another thing that a couple of us are doing, but I have not seen any press around it yet, so I'm not sure I'm allowed to talk about it yet. So we'll find out.
Okay.
Well,
Sounds good.
also at the Descent is a new D&D show starting, DM'd by myself, called Hell Hath No Fury, with Anna, as well as Hunter Hughes, Mika Burton, Malik Forte. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's been fun prepping for it, and it's going to be cool.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. And that's Sunday, May 19th at 12:30 p.m.
All right.
Ooh, and I want to show off my pony from Vampire Bait too. Hold on.
Oh yeah, got ponies. Show off ponies.
While she's getting that, I actually want to plug some really quick.
Yeah.
This Friday and Saturday on my own personal Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Nathan Sharp Official, from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. I'm doing a charity stream, doing a lot of stuff, raising money for St. Jude. So this Friday and Saturday, tune in. It's going to be fun. I'm raising money for a good cause, and it's going to be fun.
Outstanding.
I've got a couple of things too. Per usual, we have the Dice Camera Action subreddit, so be sure to go on over there and join in all the conversation and theories and all that, especially since after last happened today's episode, joining all that discussion and the fan art and things. But I also wanted to give extra shout outs to just the Dice Camera Action community, especially the ones from the subreddit, because they put together a fan art magazine of just all Dice Camera Action art. So there actually is a charity magazine that has just tons of incredible Dice Camera Action fan art that you can purchase, and all proceeds go to charity. So I also want to link that fanzine that was made because I think that is incredibly cool.
Very, very cool. Super cool art.
Yes. And yeah, that's just the best.
Brings a smile to my face and tears to my eyes.
Like a lot of amazing artists in there. So
Yeah.
please check that out.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
And a lot of good moments captured, just, heartfelt character moments. So, yeah, okay. So let's see. The Descent is when you'll see us all together again. Until then, take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you later out there. Bye.
See you all at the Descent.